Well, hello and welcome to the Cigar Professor. This is week number 11 of pack number 9. But I think it's the Cigar Professor first. I don't think ever before we have supplied to you, our beloved subscribers, a cigar that comes in its own condom. I'm pretty sure that is a first for the show. A glass condom, no less. It would probably be exceptionally uncomfortable to wear, so I don't recommend it. And that's probably as much as should be said about that. However, what is in this glass condom, if you can manage to break the seal and get it all out with this fancy packaging, is a truly extraordinary cigar. Cigar Aficionado, the magazine, are quoted as saying that this is one of Honduras' finest cigars. It is a limited edition cigar, which means that once again, Professor Damo, being the asshole that he is, has dug up an exceptional cigar, put it in the packs, specially for the pleasure of having all of us say, that was amazing, where do I get some more? And him breaking out into that evil, cackling laugh and announcing that we can't. So, look, I'm going to get him to explain himself. He's here on the show. Of course he is. Professor Damo, is this some kind of a perverse pleasure of yours? Do you enjoy this?
I do, actually.
Now, this was in 2007. This was released in 2007. It was rated by Cigar Aficionado, by Cigar Aficionado in their top 25 cigars of 2007. Are these all the same batch?
No. So they have been producing them in limited quantities, but every year they have been producing them since. So but the good news is it is available still. The question is, can you buy the stock before they sell out every year?
Yeah. So it's a little bit like you with your beloved Firecracker.
No, see, the Firecracker was a one-off thing. That was like
the Perdomo Firecracker was a one-off thing. Yeah. They do a Firecracker every year, though.
They do a Firecracker every year. Actually, that being said, the United Cigar Firecracker, which is one that we did put in one of the packs, that particular one is a staple annual production. But look, I would call this one a little bit more like sort of like the Perdomo ESVs when they were being regularly produced.
Okay.
They're sort of a premium end of their product range, limited production every year. As soon as they hit the market, they sell out straight away. And then you've just got to wait till next year and hope you're more lucky next year if you missed out. So,
and speaking of sellouts, we can't talk about sellouts without, of course, bringing on good friend of the show and definite sellout from. He's just sold his soul for a couple of cigars. Here he is having to put up with the two of us losers just for the sake of some cheap tobacco. Omar, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
He just flexes. Here I am hanging shit on him. He's just like, yeah, good, man. with the puff. What's your pre-show cigar?
I had the Firecracker. I had a little bit left, so just finishing that off.
Very nice.
And I heard you guys talk about firecrackers. I'm like, oh, someone's looking. The big brother is looking. What the heck?
All righty. Well, gents, the first order of business is to figure out how we actually safe crack our way into this particular stick. I'm just going to try ripping the
peel the gold foil off the end, and when you get the foil off, there's a little plastic cap that will just pop out. Right. These are glass. Last week you did say you weren't sure if it was acrylic or glass. It is glass.
Yes, I discovered that because I had one lying around and my 2-year-old got a hold of it and she confirmed that it was most definitely glass.
Yes.
Topher.
I'm not sure if they're test tubes or what they are, but anyway.
I don't know.
Question is, did they make the glass tube to fit the cigar, or did they make the cigar to fit the glass tube?
Yeah, that's true.
There are other questions
you might not get the answer to.
There are other questions that get raised by this whole arrangement as well, but they're probably best left alone. That is a lovely, very grassy. There's a bit of a moisture to the grassiness. There, it's a fresh sort of a spring, wet, grassy.
Yep.
Note to that. Cut grass. I'm not getting a lot else. A little bit of spice.
Yeah. There's not much coming on the nose. But Damo, question, mate, have you checked how old this cigar is in terms of the tobacco used in it and the aging?
Well, look, I bought these last year, and I assume
the manufacturers.
Look, there's not a lot of information about the cigar. All I can tell you is this is the interesting one, though. This is one thing that really sparked my attention with it, apart from being in Cigar Aficionado's top 25 in 2007. It's a Connecticut broadleaf Connecticut shade wrapper and binder.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So broadleaf is the go. So broadleaf is basically
it's a Connecticut broadleaf shade wrapper and binder. The filler is a mixture of Dominican, Honduran, and Nicaraguan.
There you go.
So,
okay.
Wow.
It just sounded like a winning combination to me.
Without having a cigar, I think that what broadleaf is really known for, apart from we calling that Connecticut, it's not an average Connecticut. Broadleaf Connecticut is very different than Connecticut. So that tells me that's going to give us a lot more body than you get in an average Connecticut. So I'm expecting body on that.
Yeah, it's rated as a medium, and I suspect that the answer is going to be in that broadleaf and obviously in the fillers as well.
Yep. Okay.
Got the garage door open at the moment, trying to cool the garage down a little bit.
It's a little bit of spice on the tongue from the cold draw, actually.
Yep. There's a very, like a white peppery light spice sort of thing.
Good, yourself? Yeah, good. I got the neighbours walking past and waving at me while I'm on the show.
No, it's all good.
I tell you what, that opening is incredible.
Topher, just a quick one. Sorry, dude. Just a suggestion on that opening that you just mentioned. You need to shut the fuck up and only speak when someone asks you to speak. No one asks you about your fucking opening.
It's like you've been learning from me. I just, I
want to say it with a straight face. I just couldn't say.
No.
Oh shit.
That's why you have the beard. You're trying to hide your face because you can't keep a straight one. The flavor
that is
considerably more complex than the aroma was. That is an absolutely lovely opening. I wouldn't pick it for Connecticut. I would probably be heading for either a Sumatran or a Cameroon.
Very Cameroon-like. He's a Cameroon origin. Yeah, that is very Cameroon-like.
Yeah,
that's very Cameroon-like.
A little bit of dark chocolate, maybe some coffee, not quite sure, but certainly a bit of dark chocolate in there, and some really sort of mature bakery flavors.
And there's a hint of citrusiness, like a spicy citrusy note that popping in. I did cut you off, Topher, but you're right. It's a very interesting opening.
Yeah,
it is
so much more complex than the nose.
Yes, distinctive, interesting, very beautiful, very beautiful.
Yeah, wow. This has already announced itself. That is for sure.
I'm not going to lie, boys. When I look at the name, I'm like, this is fucking going to be a shit smoke. But, wow. I'm already like, wow, what the hell?
Yeah. See, Omar doesn't need to practice trying to be funny. He does that a lot already. He needs to practice actually being funny. That's the link in the chain that's missing.
Hey, the last practice run I did when I saw Daniel in person with his socks. So I was kind of not trying to be funny, but I was just laughing. It was just fucking funny watching him with his sock. It was
he insisted they're compression socks, presumably for sports performance or something like that. All I think was missing was the fishnet. Like, I'm just like, just go all the way, dude. Stop mucking around. Just make them fishnets. We all know you've got them in the cupboard, right?
Oh shit! Have you got the citrusy, like a light tanginess to it?
I'm getting a light tanginess. For me, I wouldn't have gone the citrus route. I would have been more likely to go the rhubarb route with it.
Interesting.
But that twist, that little tang is definitely there.
Yeah, there's a citrus, and I feel that it's more of a coffee rather than cacao. It reminds me of darker coffee. That's what it reminds me of.
Well, Daniel's got the cacao, the grapefruit, so he concurs with your more citrusy twist. And a mixed spice bakery. Yeah, there is a mixed spice, but it's a darker mixed spice. It's like a darker spice, like a roasted mixed spice almost.
Yeah. Beautiful smoke. Well, this cigar made me just completely rethink what I thought about it at the beginning. I mean, wow.
That's a good start.
That's a good start.
It's a good start from any cigar.
Go pick up Dames. This is a good cigar.
He's off in his own world. He's with the
there's a really nice nuttiness in there, and I'm just trying to pick what that nuttiness is. It's almost pistachio, I think.
Yeah, he's just bang on. What Tofa was referring to was the toastiness, and I think that kind of ends with that pistachio note, apart from the spice.
Yeah, it's like a nice, fresh, hot toasty pistachio. Yeah.
I think, the darkness on the pistachio that usually leaves a taste afterwards when you roast them. Is that what it is? Beautiful. Beautiful.
Magnificent, I would say.
Yeah.
It's, there's a lot of cigars that, by the middle third, we're like, oh, this is a great cigar. But there's a special place in my heart for those cigars that can just bang right out of the gate.
Bang.
They've got your attention. They've announced themselves. This is a great cigar.
There's also a custard note. I'm getting a beautiful custard note in on that as well.
A baked custard.
Yeah.
This is a baked custard, like what my grandma used to make. And she would sprinkle, I believe it was cinnamon on the top, and it would go into the oven. You'd have it with kind of roasted cinnamon on the top of a baked custard. I can get that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Omar, you were trying to say something before Damo so rudely started talking about custard.
I think what he was saying about custard, I could actually get that from a foot smoke. But I think custard that is not so much cinnamon, but sprinkled in with the cacao-ness, like a sprinkle of cacao that is going into a custard, because it's got this, that earthy, chocolatey thing coming off that foot smoke. If you get to the foot smoke, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Beautiful.
You wouldn't want to turn on your air purifier after smoking this one in the room. Let it linger.
Who does that?
I don't know. I've heard these weirdo Sydney wankers that sell them and all that sort of stuff. I can't imagine anyone buys them, but
Did you say you're moving to New South Wales?
Hey, as far away from Sydney as you can get and still be in New South Wales.
Yeah, so you're moving to New South Wales. Okay, that makes sense.
that foot smoke is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
isn't it?
That's what I was fucking talking about. This is just like very nice. This thing had no smoke on that, no smell on the nose when you smelt it before, but now it's just like, whew, it just
you notice it straight away. As soon as we lit up, it's just like, this is not going to be like the aroma was. This is going to be so much better.
Man, this is good. This is good. I thought that would be probably the worst cigar in the pack, but this is
really.
Is
oh no, I always had...
Yeah. By looking at the name, I'm like, shit, no good. But this is real.
Yeah. See, Daniel's with me, New South Wales, not Sydney. It's an important distinction.
Yeah.
But also, we've got more people watching than just Daniel. But apart from this one here, where the name didn't come through, we haven't had any other comments. So if you're watching, especially if it's your first time, say hi. Let us know that you're here and where you're from and whereabouts you're smoking, whether you're smoking with us, one of our cigars tonight, or whether you've BYO'd or what have you, whatever your situation is. Let us know what you're sipping on. I'm having the Dimple 15, and it's pairing well.
Not sure what you got against Daniel. Why don't you want to hear from him? I mean, he looks weird and cartoonish, but you can't tell from the writing. So
I'm going to be living in the same town as him, soon.
Yes.
And it's just like, I just need some diversity before I'm just like committed, and just stuck. Because there's no cigar bars in Albury. So there's my garage and there's his garage.
Oh.
And that's it.
In his shop, that cartoonish sort of shop.
Well, that's 2 cigar bars in one town. That's pretty impressive.
That's right, in one town. It's not bad. Not bad. Yeah, so I just know that once I'm there, he's going to tire of me very, very quickly. And so I'm just trying to sort of, spread it around a little bit just so that he puts up with me for that extra week or two.
This is probably why I'm not going to move to Albury Wodonga. Because if I move down to Albury, my cigar collection would probably diminish in the matter of days.
It can't be any worse than living near Omar. Come on, that's rubbish.
Oh no! See, he doesn't get near my personal stash.
Yeah,
I see. Oh, so I'm special. You pull out the personal, or are you talking about Daniel? You pull out the personal stash for Daniel.
Well, I pull out the personal stash for special occasions.
Oh, I
that
see.
was a weird answer.
Because if I just kept pulling out the personal stash on a regular basis, I wouldn't get all this lovely age and complexity of cross-pollinating all the flavors of the cigars in there. Everyone just loves.
That's true, but you'd probably have more friends. So
that's true.
You got to.
If I had more friends, I'd have to go through more cigars.
But then Nick Perdomo would like you even more.
Hey, boys, I've got a split there.
Hey.
Mate, the tax department would love me even more too, but they don't give me.
They'd love you almost as much as Omar. That must be user error, Omar.
I would say user error.
Yeah, for sure.
Must have caught it on one of his long beard hairs. It sort of sliced through.
Yeah,
a bit like a paper cut sort of thing on the end.
Boys, I'm going to ash this thing. It's just
the beard's developing well, Omar, but it's a bit too wide to be a Dumbledore. So, is there sort of a model that you're going for here?
We're going freestyler. We're doing a freestyler, Toph. We're going to see how it pans out. It was really wide, so Cigarman Sam sort of took me to some specialty barber, and he made me look like a human again. It was too animalistic before. So, yeah, we'll see.
I'm starting to catch up a little bit.
Dude, don't embarrass yourself. Like, just don't say anything.
Look, speaking of embarrassing yourself, Omar, make sure you keep the sides under control or you end up looking like Costa from the ABC. All right? That's not a good look. All right? Just don't go there.
It's true.
And g'day to Udo that I saw his comment pop up a few moments ago.
Yes, thanks for watching, Udo.
I just got an incredible flavor hit just then from that last puff. I've obviously been talking a bit and let it really cool down.
Yeah.
Marshmallow.
Wow. I think that's only the second time marshmallow's been brought up in my memory.
It was a beautiful, sweet, gooey flavor. So, yeah.
There you go.
I'm getting a slightly mintiness to it now, like a freshness. I'm getting more of a freshness, particularly after dropping getting rid of the ash, the split on it. It just very minty, fresh, yet sweet. Beautiful.
Oh, that is
this cigar has already surprised me. Very surprising.
Yeah, I think this is a cigar that is going to reward patience and letting it sit for a bit longer. I just did that myself while you guys were talking. Let it sit for a little bit longer than what I have done previously. And the flavor just improved even further, integrated better, mellowed even more, keeping it nice and cool.
Probably need to have like a little timer thing, that just goes ding every 30 seconds just to now you can.
You need a chess clock.
Oh, right? Yes.
Yeah. And so it's like you've each got a certain amount of time, and I'd have to think it through. Do you want to run out of time first, or you want to be the last one with time? So you want to. I'd have to think that through a little bit more to figure out how that would work.
It's actually burning pretty fast. It just got a quick burn on the cigar. Yeah. What cigar that we were really last week was it? But we were really like, wow, this is burning so slow for the That was really surprising.
That was the Longsdale. That was the Barber Pole Longsdale.
That was an epic stick.
Yeah.
Mind you, I did send you boys a photo. I was away on the weekend doing some workout, bush blowing stuff up as I do like to do. And I had my travel humidor and I was like looking at all the regulars on the top. I thought, no, I haven't been to the bottom of this box for who knows how long. I'll dig all the way to the bottom. And I found a Perdomo champagne 10th anniversary in, I would dare say it was the, I don't know what they call it off the top of my head, but it's about the double Corona size. So a bit smaller than about the length of a Robusto, but a little bit thinner.
Yep.
And I tell you what, that wrapper was so sticky and tacky that I didn't even have to peel the label off. The label just fell off when I looked at it. And wow, I was trying not to smoke it too fast because I was just enjoying it so immensely. And I still managed to get over an hour out of that stick.
Wow. Out of a double
I think
Corona.
I did about an hour 20, hour 30 on it. So and that was me struggling to slow myself down. So
very good. See, these are the rewards that people like Omar and I never experience.
Yeah.
Because we're always at the bottom of our humidors because there's nothing else on top.
And he's fucking talking about his travel little packet that he cannot get to the bottom of. How absurd. How fucking dare you say that on a cigar show, dude? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know, right?
We have anti-human.
This guy it holds about 66 in it.
Well, I was going to say my travel humidor is a 70 stick Boveda branded acrylic humidor, which thankfully is clear sided, so I can actually see down to the bottom of it, which is good for when I do restock.
Yeah, nice. This is good.
What are you both drinking?
This Victorian company makes these drinks. They are gorgeous.
Somersault, brewed organic, slow brewed organic soda. All right, okay. Sorry, I couldn't read
I think the E in the middle should be an A somehow.
He's trying to be funny, this guy.
See, there's a lot of trying going on. I'd like someone to succeed sooner or later, please.
Well, I've got an English breakfast, and I've also got a raspberry shrub. So,
oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh, bite me!
You can't talk, Omar. You can't talk. I have black tea and I have whiskey, like an actual man with testicles still attached should.
Allegedly. Doesn't look from the face, but
I'm not going to stand up and prove it, but my drink says it all.
Yeah. Face does.
I thought they got removed in the C-section.
Oh, Damo,
that was my wife.
This is a fucking good joke. That's a good joke. He just left it.
It became funny because you were just like, no, everybody stop. That was funny. Everybody look at that thing. That was funny.
Well, they're looking at you and saying it's funny.
You're so desperate for something to be funny.
Fuck, that was funny. That Demo, you got that, dude. Eventually, it took you a while. It's like a BA.
Oh, there's a beautiful muskiness on that too. A little bit of the retro. Just got a sweet muskiness on the smoke as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
If anything, I'd say the overall flavor profile has actually gotten a bit milder for me.
Yeah, it has. Proper light up, strong light up, and it's gone milder. It's definitely the muskiness is on the foot smoke is quite nice too.
You sure that's not just your deodorant, both of you?
No, it's definitely got muskiness to it, Toph.
Yeah,
you wouldn't know what deodorant is, would you?
I don't know what musk is, that's for sure. I wasn't born in the right decade for that.
Nah. Yeah, well, like you're in 60s, right?
I'm not the one trying to hide my face, mate.
Oh, so you don't have a male face? You think you're a female? What do you mean? Like,
I look forward to standing at your grave with a good couple of years left in my life and being like, oh, all those times you thought you were funny. All those times you thought you were funny. Yeah, who's laughing now?
Tough.
I'm not the one.
I'm not too sure with the amount of drinking you do.
Look. I'm trying to give you a fighting chance, right? I'm just like trying to level the playing field a little bit for you.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, doing a good job.
Let's say you should drink 8 glasses a day. So I'm doing my best, but man, 3 or 4 glasses in, I'm seriously buzzed.
You are.
That twist of sourness is becoming more pronounced. And I'd say an overall vegetativeness is coming through more strongly. Yeah. I'm going to back my rhubarb from earlier. I'm going to say there's a rhubarb and there's a celery.
Yeah, I have that vegetative, and then you said rhubarb. It just, to me, it's like a little bit more of a mintiness touch to it, which is quite nice, mind you.
Yeah. I don't mind a bit of rhubarb. Yeah, I ain't complaining, that's for sure.
I think I'm actually picking up the citrusy note that Omar was going on about earlier. To me, it's actually more rhubarb with a little bit of lime.
Daniel mentioned the grapefruit, but I would say it's more between lemon or lime, sort of more of a sharper than the more of a grapefruit type. He's not happy. He's about to cry. What you said about his C-section. Oh, sorry, he's back.
I don't know why I said yes to being on the show with such amateurs like yourselves, but I guess I just have to see it through now, don't I? Yeah. Now, closing the garage door, the wind's picked up, temperature's dropped. Hey, Omar.
Yes, sir.
Ask me about the caption under my name.
Ooh. To tell.
No.
Can't tell?
No.
That embarrassing?
I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
Yeah, that's okay. You can try.
Which, actually, come to think of it, that would be quite a pleasurable experience. So, you know what? I'll tell you everything. It's a very long story. You ready?
Okay, wait. Is it before the C-section or after?
This was today.
Oh, sorry. After, yeah.
I'm now the proud owner of another family member. Its name is Sucky, and it is a robot vacuum cleaner.
Oh, wow.
And if anyone asks me what it's like, I'll tell them that it sucks.
Wow. We're getting there.
Sucks very well.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there on the funny part. Yeah.
Well, just like I had to tell you to ask me about it. Like it just sort of haven't followed my lead at all. Like there's no chemistry. There's no chemistry here.
No biology.
No, there's no biology at all.
Yeah.
Just really having to work for every single gag. Just,
it's disgusting.
Yeah. And yet here we are.
And Damo is really interested in your conversation. You can probably tell.
See, what Damo does a really good job of is looking like his brain is active. I mean, we all know it's not, right? But Omar, when you clock off, your face says, "I've clocked off," and you're just kind of there.
That stems from listening to boring shit.
But Damo, he's got it mastered. He's like,
that You know that. You know what that reminds me of?
When he visits Nick.
That's not nice, man.
Well, he's got the technique from somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Nick is a very experienced cigar smoker and probably taught that technique of testing the flavors to Damo. I don't know where your brain has gone. That was a serious comment about where Damo learned his amazing cigar tasting skills. That's all I'm on about.
Oh boy.
Nice thing about having the door closed is the smoke hangs around for a bit longer.
Yeah. Why not?
Good smoke production on it as well.
Yeah.
Both in terms of the quality of the aroma, but also just the amount.
The other flavor that I'm not necessarily directly tasting, but it's giving me reminiscence of is Arnott's milk arrowroot biscuits.
Okay. Not the teddy bear ones.
No, the oval shaped ones.
Wouldn't want to get them mixed up. And obviously not the shortbread, because that's just a whole different thing.
Yeah, shortbread is very different.
I don't know what you're saying about it fast burn, Omar. It's beautiful slow burn.
I think that was all in Omar's imagination. I think he's in such a hurry to get onto the next cigar.
Yep. Or he hasn't changed gears back down from the cigar he had before the show that he was like desperately trying to get to the end of.
No. I've got it. Omar, remember, you've got to have the second cigar. Right? That's what's wrong. You're only smoking one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I guess I can get rid of that caption now, because that joke went ever so well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm so glad I took the time to set that up.
Yeah.
Wait till your robot vacuum cleaner goes across the floor and collects a dog turd and spreads it everywhere for you.
Yes. So there's a reason why we didn't buy it a few weeks ago, because we weren't 100% sure that we had the right routine down where it was no chance of mistakes. Now we're pretty sure that we've got it nailed. Heaven forbid that it all goes wrong. Do you want me to tell you a story that will definitely put you off your food?
Absolutely.
So we had been allowing Emmett to sleep on our bed because, that's what you're supposed to do with like pets. They become part of the family, blah, 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 all that crap. When I say all that crap, it became quite literal, because he developed a severe reaction to the food that we were feeding him, which was the same food we'd always been feeding. We didn't change anything, but all of a sudden he had this massive reaction. And so I wake up in the morning, I stumble out of bed, I go walking out bleary-eyed into the corridor, and he has sprayed the floor. Right? This may as well have been like one of those spray bottles with the trigger. All right? It's just come out in like massive droplets, and he's left this it's all the way up, and he's walked through it, so it's now on his feet, and he's gone and walked it elsewhere. And oh, man. So I head towards the kitchen to get the disinfectant and the wipes and everything else. As I head towards the kitchen, I see, there's a sliding doors, which is normally where he goes out, right, to do his business. And before obviously doing it in the hallway, or maybe the hallway was on the way out, I'm not sure, he had sprayed from both ends. in 2 different spots. And so thus began a hunt around the house. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you I found 11 different locations, discrete locations around the house, each one represented by dozens, if not hundreds, of droplets and globules from either or both ends simultaneously. This poor dog was so crook. If anyone's watching, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know why anyone would want to hear this. And then, so I'm cleaning, I'm disinfecting, like it's an hour and a half of my morning. It's in the jolly couch, right? It was just awful. And then I go back. My lovely wife has slept through all of this. And I go back to tell her it's time to get up. And I discover that on the bed is where it all started. From both ends. And it was seriously like there was puke that was formed like it had come out the other end, but it was clearly puke, right? And it was like shaped into sausage. It was I've never seen anything like it in my life. So a whole lot of bedding went in the bin. We looked at each other and we're like, no, that's a bin job. That is right there. And so Emmett did not sleep on the bed for a long time until we figured out what had happened. And we've now got him on some other food that seems to be agreeing with him a little bit better. But yes, get a dog, they said. It'll be great, they said.
Whew.
So there you go. Did I put you off your dinner?
Oh.
Udo was enjoying it.
Yeah. His dinner. Haven't seen Pete on a show for a while.
Whiskey Pete? He's probably busy getting ready to get married.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
I think some events have started up for him as well again. So I'd say that Friday night. Actually, went on Friday night.
Wednesday night. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, he's 5 weeks out from getting married. Cut him some slack. Oh dear. That's a shame.
At least there was a ring in it before the ash dropped.
There was a ring before the ash dropped. There was. And it was a good one. Well, let's see what happens to the flavor. Alrighty, Stephen, I'll be taking photographs and we'll be trying to get emails. I'll get an email out to you this week to tell you what's in it. And then it'll be down to when Damo can put aside a bit of time to get the invoices out, etc. So just in case you're not aware, Stephen, and welcome to the show. I don't think you've been with us before. I haven't seen it. We're switching from weekly to monthly as of next pack. So there's actually only 3 cigars instead of 13, one for each week for the 3 months. There's 3, one for each month. For the 3 months, we're going to smoke once a month and enjoy. We're going back to Cuba for only the second time in the history of the Cigar Professor. We had pack 2 that was all about Cuba, and now pack 10 is going to be all about Cuba as well. So make sure you're on the email list. If you're not on the email list, send us a message to our Facebook page. We do all our business through the Facebook page. Sorry, it's just easier for us. So the Cigar Professor on Facebook, and just send us a message, and we'll add your email address to the list, so you get that email. I will get sucking onto my ash. I will teach it to sweep up the garage. Oh yeah, that smoke production is lovely.
Still got a bit of a tang in there, though.
A little bit. Post ash drop, the nuttiness has come through more clearly for me than it was earlier. I wasn't really on that same sort of nuttiness flavor profile that you guys were describing, but it's there now, and pistachios very much so. What am I now? I'm certainly into the middle third. I'm partway into the middle third, I'd say. You're pretty much halfway through the cigar now, Omar.
Yeah.
Damo.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, pretty similar. So what do you have against Hoyo de Monterrey, Omar? I'm genuinely curious because I have good associations with the brand, but you seem to have the reverse.
My whole thing about Cuban names being reused in...
Oh, you're one of those people, are you? Oh.
Look, I like Monte Cristo White Series. I always enjoyed it. I like the Monte Cristo Platinum. But that's about it. That's about it.
Okay, so your issue's not with the Cuban HDMs. Because I was going to say, like an HDM Epicure number 4, is fantastic.
Yes.
So it's you're talking about the non-Cuban namesakes. Okay.
Yeah. Look, but in saying that, in saying that is a fantastic cigar. You can't just pick some weird thought pattern and go by that and go, it's good or bad. This is on honest note, this is a very good cigar. I'll smoke that every day if I can. This is a very good cigar. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. If you can get supply.
Yeah. I'm not one of those weird humans / robots that fucking keep the cigars and just get excited over it. Like, you smoke the fucking cigars.
That's right. Yeah, it's like these people who have these expensive cars and never drive them. It's like, do you never sort of make any use of your wife as well? Like, what are you trying to accomplish by not actually making use of the thing that you're paying the upkeep on? I'm just like,
that's right.
Just saying.
Look, Omar was covering for himself then, and I think the true statement that he needs to make is that he'd just smoke any cigar.
He would do.
I've got a mate of mine offered me those box of Italian cigars, those fucking ugly shit. And I said, no, keep it. Best that you keep it. I'm not interested. So it's not all cigars, but yeah.
No, just wait till you run out and then you'll be wanting them. I'm sure of it.
Toscano or something like that.
Toscano. Yeah, look, I have vivid memories of waking up after a chemo session a couple of years back, and I turned the show on to see where you're at, and next thing I see this cigar getting cut in half, and I passed out. Sheer horror.
Yeah, that was an Italian, used to be mate of mine. Obviously, we haven't spoken since.
Until he cut a cigar in half, like that was.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and he hasn't been back on the show since for good reason.
Yeah, that's it.
But so he did also make the point though that that whole Clint Eastwood thing of biting the end off a cigar and spitting it out, that works with the Toscanos.
Oh,
you can do that with the Toscano.
Yeah,
you can't do that with one of these unless you're exceptionally careful and have specially sharpened teeth. I mean, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. Look, that's not something that I would smoke. I can't be fucked with that. It's just not. Nah. That's a negative.
Okay, so here's a test for you. This will test your judgment. What about Dutch cigars?
They had some very good cigars. Dutch cigars. They used to make some exclusive cigars. Now, I've heard, like, obviously never had one, but I've heard from seasoned smokers that they got me an empty box of those Dutch cigars, and now a customer coming in was talking about those. Oh, that's a nice ring.
Yeah.
That's a nice. Yeah. Look, you can't comment on it unless you actually get the hang of it and try it and whatever. But the Italian, those things, Toscanos, you would not even want to touch the damn thing. You're like, what the fuck?
Oh no, the Italian ones. It's I've seen more attractive things come out of the butt end of my dog, and we just had a conversation about that. So
specifically,
you don't really want to be pulling those out of your humidor.
Nah,
I wonder what
it can be in your fucking humidor.
Yeah, well, that's right. I was about to say, I do wonder what the effect would be on the other cigars around it.
Oh, fuck that.
You don't want to find out.
Nah. Actually, I've never thought about smoking a cigar, like preempted. I've never preempted a cigar in my life. as much as that Cohiba 66 that I've got. And I don't celebrate birthdays. And I'm thinking about flying to Tezzy for the night to have the cigar on my birthday. So I don't celebrate birthdays, period. They don't do nothing to me. They don't excite me, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be a big one for me, 5-0. So I'm quietly flying out. And either Christchurch or Hobart. And then I'm having that $1,000 cigar that a mate of mine gave me with love. I'm really, really, really preempting that cigar. I think it'd be good.
Yeah, Christchurch or Hobart. See, one of the issues that you're going to have with Hobart is finding a venue where they're going to let you smoke it.
I'm thinking of going do it from a balcony, on a nice water views, balcony, boom.
If you can find somewhere where they're going to let you smoke it on that balcony, Hobart has done this really weird thing where it's almost proud of how unwelcoming it is of cigars and cigarettes and smoking. Absolutely. There's a lot of places.
You probably can get away with smoking weed anywhere down there, surely.
You probably could. But no, I was staying in a hotel down there, and reasonably expensive hotel right in the heart of Hobart, and they had the whole concierge service, etc. And I wandered around. I Googled. I was trying to find a cigar place, not even a cigar bar, just a place that would actually welcome you to smoke cigars. And they then did some research to try and help me out, and they could not find anywhere.
That's weird, because isn't it like the balcony? You can't stop someone on the balcony because balcony it comes under.
They've got entire city blocks carved out where you're not allowed to smoke anywhere in those city blocks. You can't even walk outside a building and smoke. You have to leave those multiple city blocks, go for a walk for a few blocks to get to the point where you're allowed to light up. Dead serious.
Okay, you would be better at Launceston, because the show I did from Hobart, the pub down there actually has outdoor smoking area in Launceston, where I did the show from.
From Launceston, yeah, okay. I know when I was staying in Lonnie, a hotel that I stayed at in Lonnie, they said, "Oh yeah, just go grab your cigars, head up up to there and smoke up." There was a great undercover shaded area. There was power to charge my phones and that sort of stuff. So they were just much more accommodating of the hobby than Hobart were.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's kind of takes out Hobart out of the equation then, almost.
Well, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying I wouldn't know where to look.
Well, I actually appreciate that you said that, because otherwise I would have just fucked it up completely.
But that's par for the course for you. So, would have been nothing new.
Yeah. Talking to you.
All right, update from Daniel. Just lost his ash. The citrus note is picked up. Definitely lime along with the pistachio. Tim and Stuart, you did get out there. Excellent. So long as you're not burnt to a crisp in the wildfire up there, then that's good news. Let us know if you have any luck. Well, obviously you're not having any luck because you're watching us, aren't you? How unlucky can you be? And Daniel, yes, Hobart have certainly taken that to the next level.
Yeah. Okay. Might be thinking.
So we have an undisputed ash champion tonight. Not even Daniel could compete.
Oh wow.
And you know you're good when we describe it as not even Daniel could compete. Like not even Omar, that doesn't mean anything, but not even Daniel.
Boys, any idea about where you guys suggest to fly out for the night if it's not Hobart? Perth? It's too long.
Too long of a flight, yeah. From where you guys are, I'd almost be tempted to head north.
Like Gold Coast or Brisbane, right?
Yeah, well, I don't like Brizzy. Although, I mean, I will say, I know someone who lives on the waterfront in Brizzy, and that's quite nice. If you've got the money to be sort of right there. I don't know. You could fly to Albury. There's a really good garage.
Oh, fuck. No.
Hey, he's got couches and everything.
I got to do a solitary smoke.
Okay. All right. You got to have a little quiet midlife crisis.
Yeah, that's it.
No witnesses.
Well, the pub that I had my cigar at Launceston actually has a hotel next door and you could just stay there and just walk like 20 meters to have your stogie.
Okay. Launceston. All right. Let's do some research and all that.
How's the cigar progressing, gentlemen? What are you getting now?
It is a very good cigar. Look, I would say I'm thoroughly enjoying it, man. Particularly from like preemptive sort of thing. I said, "What the fuck?" But just yet the cigar that Damo has picked at is I'm appreciating this cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a little bit of cinnamon coming through now.
I think they always had that cinnamon thing, but it's getting
picked up a bit
more pronounced.
I had the cinnamon already back when you mentioned the custard, and that's why I was like, yeah, a baked custard with the cinnamon on top. That was what I was getting. The cinnamon's been there all the way through, just in varying strength.
I would say that it's not the strongest sort of cinnamon, but it's mixed up with some baked spice and all that. But on the foot smoke, you can smell muskiness and cinnamon a lot more. I think it's probably that what's making us think it's constant cinnamon.
Yeah, it's the aroma. I'm going to try and put it down again for a couple of minutes.
I saw Tim's comment about the fox not eating.
Not good at eating, yeah.
Interesting that I think from my beginning of my dad bought my first gun to me, 22, when I was 11 years old. And in my teens, I've killed so many animals that I've got completely turned off for hunting. Completely. I've killed so many birds and animals that I don't feel that I have the heart to do that no more. It's bad, very bad. Hundreds in a day some days.
Have you ever managed to get two birds with one stone?
I've done multiple on the number 4, number 6 of the bird hunting. I've done number shots, multiple shots.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, like particularly duck hunting. You know. But it's just that whole thrill about killing animals. It's just gone, man. I love eating still animals. That's really bad, but hunting itself. I wish I could go back one day. I really used to enjoy that.
Well, I'll tell you
I do have a friend, and this is no shadow of a lie because I actually saw the pictures that he took on his phone. He was on a creek bed gully. And he lined up a roo. He was out culling on a friend's farm. Anyway, they were basically culling all the pests on the farm at the time. Shot at this roo, dropped it down. He walked down to the roo to get it. The bullet had gone through the roo. And on the other side of the roo, about 20 meters further down, was a fox. And it actually went through the fox. And the fox actually had a rabbit in its mouth as well that was dead. So it was like a roo, a fox, and a rabbit with one bullet.
A 308?
You'd never get that shot if you tried in a million years.
All I'm thinking is this going to be a new take on the turducken? Like, can you just sort of stuff them in?
Was it 308 or not?
I don't know what he was shooting. I think actually I'd have to go back and find out what he was shooting. Look, I haven't spoken to that guy in a long, long time. I used to go hunting with him a bit, but he moved interstate and I haven't seen him since, really. So,
Daniel, I love 303s. Have you ever shot M1, the old M1? I used to take that 303. Oh, man, what rifle that is.
All I'm thinking is, how far did those feathers travel?
I know.
It was like Christmas in July.
Yeah, damn. It would.
My favorite caliber is a 303. There's just something that I like about the Australian, British, American war rifles made in the 303. They're just built to work in mud and gunk, and they were just designed to be able to be field stripped and fixed, and if something broke, you just found another dead soldier near you and grabbed the part and got your gun working again. Like it was, it was really that well designed. But my favorite 2 calibers for hunting is my 22 mag and my 243.
Yeah.
They're both very good meat guns.
So 22 mag for
foxes. Don't annihilate the animal. You end up with, meat left to harvest. Like, my idea of hunting is not to kill and shoot everything in sight. If a farmer's got a permit in or there's got a plague of some description and they're culling, I've got no problem culling off whatever the vermin is. And they're nearly always introduced species that we're culling.
Yeah.
But as I've said on the show in times past, I've had more opportunity to shoot deer than I've actually shot at deer, because I just want to take a clean, humane kill, and also a kill that allows me to harvest the meat and the skin. So I've actually got 2 nice new deer skins on my lounge room floor at the moment that I just got from the tanners last week from my hunt last year. So
very nice. This is an old M1. Yeah,
that's it. They are beautiful. The old M1s are beautiful.
My ash just dropped.
Oh, there you go.
That's the longest ash, man.
That was a good effort. I'll pay that. Yep.
Half the stick.
Maybe
just a tad over. No, I didn't quite make half of it landed in the ashtray, half of it landed out and
exploded.
It's probably the biggest pile of ash I've had on the table in a long time.
Yeah. No, look, I enjoy shooting. I wouldn't say I've ever really done any real hunting. It's a very different thing. I'd like to develop that skill. And Omar, you say you enjoy eating meat. Well, if some of the powers that be get their way, the only way you're going to get meat is if you hunt it yourself pretty soon. So you might have to dust off some of those old skills of yours. But look, most of the shooting I've done has been just controlling vermin, particularly rabbits. Yeah, a little bit of kangaroo, but mostly rabbits. And I've learned that the success of the shooting expedition is inversely proportionate to the number of people on the expedition. If you've got 1, maybe 2 people, you can bring in a haul. If you've got 6 people, you ain't getting nothing. No one's getting a single thing.
Yeah, there's a whole lot. I mean, I don't watch TV. I don't have TV or anything like that. But I'm hearing from a lot of people that walk into my establishment, and there is a great deal of push about veganism and cowspiracy or whatever. Fake meats, and I think the trend is going toward that. I think they're just making it.
Daniel.
That was Daniel.
Yeah, that's ugly push.
Yeah, it's being pushed that way, and we're all supposed to feel guilty about eating meat and guilty about driving cars and guilty about using electricity and everything else. And I, of course, don't. But these busybodies aren't going to stop anytime soon. So yeah, if you like your red meat, now's probably a good time to start learning how to hunt and getting a chest freezer.
I wouldn't mind that. But I'm hoping it doesn't happen. I'm just hoping we still can find good quality meat to eat.
Okay. If you know hunters, then that's going to be almost as good because, you take a whole deer, they can't just stick it all in their own freezer. That's a bit too much meat. So, if you know the right people and they know they can trust you and talk to you, then there'll be meat you can buy.
I would agree, though, that buck or deer or whatever you want to call that is probably the nicest thing to indulge in the hunting. Or it is probably the nicest.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Very nice.
Chittle tastes the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Chittle tastes the best. Black bucks, some of the black bucks in America, they're quite nice too. But chittle is definitely up there.
I find my most successful hunts tend to happen at the butcher's just down around the corner here.
Nice.
Yeah, I always manage to come back with some really nice cuts. Never deer though, funnily enough. I've never managed to snag any deer on one of those hunts, but you know, ribeye, rump.
Nice.
Yeah.
Since my ash has dropped, little bit of a hazelnut nuttiness coming in.
Yeah. See, I found the nuttiness really kicked in after my ash dropped as well. There's something about that brings out the nuttiness in this cigar, I reckon.
Which is actually quite nice because usually when the ash drops, the pepper kicks up, or
it gets harsh.
The flavors become a little bit harsh before and it has transformed, but it's transformed in a very pleasant way.
Yeah, agreed. It's a beautifully built cigar. Omar's user error, ash splitting notwithstanding. I mean, this is just cigar perfection in terms of the construction.
Perfect burn.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very good burn, yeah. I still rate the foot smoke on this cigar is probably out of everything else is quite nice. I think that's what's giving it a lot of profile too when we're smoking it at the same time.
Yeah.
So what's the favorite cut of meat, Topher?
Well, my favorite cut of meat is wrapped up in a very specific experience. You got to rewind about 11 years. I was a salsa dancing teacher, and one of the students there was quite a good dancer too. David Hayes was his name. He was a chef, and he got pretty far up in the chefing world. He was being taken onto yachts as a guest chef to come on and feed the owner or feed the charter guests, etc. For sort of special occasions. He was working in some of the most exclusive resorts on islands off the coast of Queensland and that sort of stuff as a head chef, not as a line chef. He was in charge. That was his menu and all that sort of stuff. And he settled down in Melbourne for a little while just for family reasons and came to the salsa school. We got to know him, really lovely guy. And he had a bunch of us over to his house. And he just basically put on a little cooking class. And he had this incredible ribeye, and it was uncut when he brought it out. It was this long beef ribeye, and we cut it into the thickest slabs I've ever had. That's the sort of thing I could never afford to buy going to a restaurant. It's just not an option. I look, I drool, and then I move on and find the steak that's $30, not $80, $100, whatever it is. And yeah, we cut those up. Pan fried them in a little bit of butter. The first time I'd ever actually cooked meat in butter, and then just a little bit of a smoked salt, and it was just some of the most gorgeous meat I'd ever had. It was just incredible.
And that was
You'd like a cattleman's cutlet.
A bit like what?
You'd like a cattleman's cutlet.
Okay.
So basically, it's the backstrap on the rib, but nice and thick.
Yeah,
it basically looks like a lamb cutlet that's been, enlarged quite substantially, about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I feel
actually the other thing when I feel like a really good piece of beef, I'll go to my butcher and actually get them to custom cut a T-bone for me. Okay. And I usually get them to cut the T-bone around about 2 inches thick.
Yeah, wow.
So instead of getting 2 T-bones, what they do is they cut at the bone, leave the middle bone, and then cut at the next bone. So I actually get basically a double thickness.
Yeah, wow.
And takes a long time to cook, unfortunately. But that's exceptional. And I don't let them trim any of the fat off. I leave all the fat on because as it's cooking, it's rendering and cooking in the fat, and it really gives a good flavor.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, ribeye is
They're
always
about 900 grams to a kilo in weight, one of those T-bones.
See, I can't eat that anymore. I can remember as a younger man, you'd see on the menu like the 1 kilo steak and that sort of stuff. And if it was a special occasion, I could justify the money. I'd get it and I could eat it. Now I'm like, that 250 gram steak looks about right, And even then I'm still getting bigger. Actually, I've stopped, but I'm a lot bigger than I was.
I think in a bigger bigger animal like your cow or buffalo, the different cuts are obviously they're not really comparable to the smaller animal, but Scotch fillet has always been my favorite. Scotch fillet, a nice, very nice Scotch fillet. But I would say this in a smaller animal such as deer or lamb or goat, my pick is the heart and the brain.
Yeah, right.
I make a killer brain omelet that people brag about. I don't. But as a meat, I think heart is the most indulgent. Ever tried it?
I have had heart. I don't really remember it very well. It was a long, long time ago. It didn't leave much of an impression on me. I do remember going to a fancy restaurant for, I believe it was our 5th wedding anniversary. It might have been our 4th. Edwin and I went to a fancy restaurant that was like a Asian Australian fusion restaurant down in a basement in Melbourne City. And I ordered a steak. It was lovely, but there was this little cube of a very dark something. I wasn't sure what it was. And it was just there on the side as almost like a garnish. And I poked the fork into it. It was, it was quite soft, stuck it in my mouth and chewed it up. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is amazing. That was just one of the most incredible explosions of flavors I've ever had. And so I asked afterwards, what was that thing? And it was ox tongue.
Oxtail is beautiful too.
Ox tongue.
Absolutely.
And the way it had been cut up and the way it had been prepped and what have you, I don't know what they'd done to it. Yeah. But as an explosion of flavor, I'd never had anything like it out of such a small morsel.
Yeah, oxtail is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. When you have it right, it's beautiful.
Actually, one that I wouldn't mind trying is camel.
Yeah, right.
Haven't had a chance to hunt camel yet, but
very distinctive meat. But once you get it right, it's more of a salty kind of meat. The fact that the camels only eat herbs, not the pasture.
Yeah,
so they have that aroma in that, which is of very salty / herbal taste, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, right.
Sydney, you can find camel burgers everywhere.
I think Omar and Damo have already answered your question, Stephen. Camel. Steve was saying he'd like to try a moose steak. I took the opportunity to eat some alligator in the US because just out of curiosity, really. Didn't rate it. Wouldn't bother to have it again, but it might have just been not well prepared or something. You never know. And as a one-off, you just don't know if it's really representative. Wouldn't bother again, though. Goodness. An animal you'd really love to try to eat. Look, specifically.
That croc you can get in Sydney, and it's very chicken-like. It's very nice. Turkey / chicken, very nice.
Yeah. It's a gamey chicken is how I would have described it. Yeah. Goodness. You know what? I grew up thinking that all seafood was terrible food because the way we would cook it was the way the English would cook it, and it was just bad. That was just dried out fish that was just horrible. So I've grown up and lived basically my whole life thinking that I don't like seafood. But I actually wouldn't mind going and spending the money, going to a place that's really known for its seafood and just going through one of the big platters and just actually going, okay, this is seafood the way it's supposed to be eaten, the way it's supposed to taste. Do I actually not like it, or have I just not had anything good? Because you know how it is.
You come to Sydney, I'm up for doing that with you. I love seafood platters.
Yes, I
absolutely love it.
All right. Well, we'll have to do that because it's just that thing of, when you do go out to these places that might have amazing seafood, but you've got in your head that you don't like seafood, you're not going to order that. You're going to order the steak. I'm not going to pay, because seafood's not cheap either. You're not going to pay $50-$60 for, some wonderful dish that you might love, but I hate. I'm just not going to take that risk. But I feel like I just need to. At some point, I've just got to take that risk, spend the money, go somewhere good, and find out.
As long as they've got scallops and Balmain bug, because I quite like both those.
Okay, is the Balmain bug any different to the Moreton Bay bug, or are we all just eating the same bug and giving it different names?
Oh, look, different species, very similar.
Haze is similar, but
you just got to feel special. Give it its own name. It's like, oh no, that's not the same thing.
I probably would pick oysters and seafood over anything. When the oysters are right, they're like, wow.
Look, I've shucked oysters raw and also in done a couple of different ways. Absolutely straight raw. The texture just kills me. I just can't.
Yeah.
But Kilpatrick is just horrible.
Yeah.
It's just overdone nonsense. I did go to one place where they just did it with a little bit of, I think it was just a little bit of egg, fish roe, and some sort of a white, I don't know, their take on it, maybe a tartare sauce. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was some sort of a white paste, some fish roe, and the raw oysters, and that was good. That was probably my best seafood experience.
Yeah, I think. Have you tried with lemon or lime?
I don't believe so.
That is where the key delicacy comes in. They say, because that's starting to cook it or soften it, so the texture goes away, kind of thing. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
So still raw, but just sat in that in the lemon or lime. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The best experience that people brag about. I have family that comes from the States, and they say, right, we have never seen anything like that. It's Sydney Fish Market. It's known to be one of the most premium places for fish, and they freshly get it and they do it. It is absolutely probably the best experience you have in terms of seafood.
Yeah, okay.
At least in Southern Hemisphere.
You should see the new fish markets they're building at the moment. Massive. Massive. It's going to be like 5-6 times the size of the current fish markets.
Mind you, which is the largest in the Southern Hemisphere already. The current one is the largest in Southern Hemisphere already. So imagine that. But that experience is phenomenal.
So the fish markets, though, is that where, like, can you actually come in as a consumer and buy cooked to eat, or is it just to take home? And
both.
Okay.
Both.
So there's fishmongers there, but then there's also a whole stack of restaurants and like little cafe takeaway places that cook fresh seafood from there as well.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Oh, well, next time I'm in Sydney.
Actually, I think there's an oyster bar in the markets, the fish markets too, isn't there?
Yeah, two.
Yeah.
There's two.
I'd hoped I was going to come through Sydney early in March on my way up to Brizzy, speaking at a conference up there, but I'm just going to fly up now. So I won't be coming through on the way up or the way back.
See, he doesn't love us.
No. No. I only love what's in your humidor, Damo. I thought you knew that.
Damo he's a good man, Damo. Yeah, Topher, I would highly recommend to have that experience in Sydney Fish Market. There aren't many things in Sydney that people brag about in general about what it offers, but that fish market is
for obvious reasons. Yeah.
But people move to New South Wales for a reason.
Yeah, to get away from Daniel Andrews.
Yep.
So the fish markets are on Bridge Street. If you actually head along Bridge Street towards Glebe, on the other side of the road from where the new fish markets is, there's a little cafe there called Bruce Tea and Coffee. And the guy there makes an incredible coffee as well. I often go there just to get a coffee. If I'm in around the city area,
that's a good coffee.
I'll detour off and grab coffee. And he's my kind of barista. He'll make a coffee and look at it and sniff it and throw it out and make it again and look at it and go, still not right, throw it out and make it again. You end up waiting for 2 or 3 coffees later, but when you get it, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's good coffee.
It's funny. We've been laughing about the fact that we're leaving the area at the right time because we drive 15 minutes to get to the one cafe in the whole of the southeast that actually does a really good job. But there's a specific barista, and he's actually the newest barista there. But he just came in with like this fire in his belly. He was like, I'm going to learn how to make the best damn coffees. And he did. And he paid attention to everything he was taught. And he's exactly the same. He'll throw it out. He's always whinging about the machine. Oh, the machine's not quite right. Like always whinging. Oh, I don't know. The temperature's changed. The humidity's changed. Something's changed. And he's always just playing with it and tweaking it. And he knows that I can tell a decent coffee from a bad one. I'm not on Damo's level, but I can tell a good coffee from a bad. So he won't hand it over to me until he's absolutely happy with it. And sometimes it's the first one, but more often it's the second or third one that he makes.
Yeah. Will there be any cafes that good in Albury?
You know what? So once we secure
actually there is a cafe that I actually stop at in Albury when I'm driving through to have coffee.
Is it Musette?
No.
Okay. So Musette's pretty good. I enjoy their coffee. But on the other side of Albury, there's a place called the Pemberton Pantry that's just down the bottom of the hill from where we're going to be living. And it's just this odd sort of a place. It's like a bread shop with a bit of a kitchen down the back and weird sort of artisanal preserves and honeys and stuff on the shelves. It's sort of this oddball sort of place. And I'd heard the coffee was good, and I went there and I tried it, and actually that was so far the best coffee I've had in Albury.
Nice.
Daniel reckons gurus. I've going back to your earlier comment, Daniel, I'm actually looking forward to checking out the Harris Farm markets. I think between the what's the name, the butchers, you know who I mean, Daniel, and the Harris Farm markets, I think it'll be an interesting place from a food point of view.
Yeah.
Now the one I stop at's called the Proprietor.
I've heard good things. Haven't tried it yet.
It's on Townsend Street, just down from McDonald's across the road.
Yeah, Welke. It's Welke. Yeah. So there's a family there, the Welke family, and they have their own farm and particularly focused on meat production. And they have basically a walk-in meat vending machine. You have to be a member. You get a code. There's cameras everywhere. And you walk in, you grab what you want. And I don't know exactly how it works. So I'm not a member yet, whether you pay there or you scan it and pay it or whatever. But yeah, there doesn't have to be anyone working. You can just walk in, grab what you want and leave. And it's really, really, really good meat, all from their own property and done their own way. And yeah, it's really, really good. And they actually do farm tours. So when you become a member, you go and do a tour of their farm, which we plan to do. And I'm actually very much looking forward to. It's an interesting part of the world for a lot of this sort of, like, it just seems to have a lot of people that are super passionate about what they do and just doing something a little bit different. And I quite like it. Good stick, gentlemen. Definitely picking up in flavor intensity now. Starting to get some fennel. It's talking about the Welkies and the Welkie farm. Yeah, interesting stuff what they're doing. So their bacon, which they serve at their cafe, the Cafe Musette, I think it's nitrogen-free or nitrate-free, whatever it is. Nitrate-free. And all their meat is just sort of all the stuff that they're doing these days to make it, change the color or the flavor or make it grow faster or whatever. They don't do any of that. They just raise it on good pasture and good food and, serve it fresh. If you can hear the sounds of chaos through my microphone, it's the sound of the robot vacuum cleaner having been activated, presumably by my wife. And the children are now out of bed chasing it around the house. What time is it now? Nearly 9:30? Yeah.
The dog's not chasing it, barking?
No, the dog's been great with it, actually. I've been quite relieved to see that. I was a bit worried because he will chew anything. But he just keeps his distance. He's not afraid of it, but he just keeps his distance.
That's a good start.
Mm. Going to say this final third is less enjoyable. Not enjoying it as much.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Right on.
First and second thirds, both excellent. Final third, yeah, it is what a final third is from a medium or full strength cigar. They tend to just go a little bit too far.
Yeah.
Getting almost like a those dry, crispy, sort of slightly coffee flavored biscuits that you get. Not no in particular one, but just sort of a very generic sort of dark coffee biscuity sort of flavor.
Drier ones. They're quite dry.
Mm-hmm.
Mary's, I think that was used to be called.
Yeah, definitely sharper flavors, Daniel. I'm with you on that. Coming through on the tip of the tongue. Not a lot of pepper. It's not a peppery, spicy. It's a vegetative fennel.
Celery.
Really where I'm at. Sorry?
Celery. Yep.
Mine hasn't been too vegetative, which is quite nice. I got that rhubarb and a bit of celery earlier on, but apart from that, it hasn't been too vegetative for me.
Yeah. I don't mind. I don't, the sort of even the clean celery and, fennel at times and that sort of stuff. I don't mind it. This is just a little bit too strong now. It's just built that past that point where it's nice and into that point where you're like, oh, okay, that's the dominant flavor now. We're going to have to get some cigar bands printed up in the Cigar Professor style, and do a run of these. It's just it's an absolute work of art. Absolutely astonishing. I want to come back to Stephen's comment here. Stupid question alert. What's a scampi?
Scampi.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm not the only one. That makes me feel better. Stephen, help us out here. What's a scampi?
What is scampi?
Isn't that a bit like the French langos? Is it langoustines?
Well, now there's another word I don't know.
Sort of like a small crayfish?
Or, in the words of Stephen, a fancy prawn. Okay. Fancy prawns. All right. I will make a note of that when I go to this fictional fancy seafood restaurant that is in my future somewhere. I will ask them for some fancy prawns. Hopefully they'll know what I'm talking about. Oh. Okay, this just suddenly got good again. Or what was there? You know what? That was just garden variety leather. I just came through with a beautiful mid-strength leather that took the sting out of the vegetative note. And it just, like, that was a beautiful, beautiful mouthful of smoke. There's not been much leather in this cigar now that I think about it. But it just came through real clear, soft, but medium strength leather. The aroma's still good.
Aroma is fantastic.
Still just as good as it was at the opening.
Yeah.
I need to get a smaller room to smoke in so that it fills up faster. Just have like a shoebox and just, exhale into that.
Well, you're going toward that soon.
Well, I'll have a studio. It'll be smaller than this garage is, but not by a lot.
Yeah.
That's why Omar smokes in his car.
That's right. That's right. Yes, that would be probably the main upside of us becoming a 2-car family, which we're not planning to at this point. But in a hypothetical future, when we do end up with a second car, I'll have a car I can smoke in. Not that I haven't smoked in the car. It's just a very rare thing.
Yeah.
So here you go. When you get your second car, are you going to go for a petrol or a diesel?
I'm going to try and stick with diesel. I'm going to try and stick with a single fuel source.
Yep.
Diesel cars and a diesel generator at home.
Yep.
And just stick with that. Some on-site battery storage, so you can just run the generator for a little while and top up the batteries and run your fridges and microwave and all that stuff, if you have to. I'm talking about it, if you have to. I'd like to stick with diesel if I can. I just love the fact that with our car, it's an ordinary car. It's a Volkswagen Passat with a 65-liter tank, and I can fill that up and actually realistically drive to the other side of Newcastle and beyond from Melbourne.
That's pretty good.
Like, that's the actual realistic range out of a single tank.
Yeah.
You throw a jerry can or 3 in the boot, and suddenly you're getting to Brisbane.
Yeah.
Starting to get a little bit hot.
On the fingers. I think you're a bit ahead of me. Not by much, just a little. Oh, no, pretty similar. Omar, you and me?
Yep.
Damo's obviously got no self-control. He's just been burning through it. Yeah.
No idea.
Someone should teach him how to smoke a cigar. Might make him more useful on the show.
That's it.
Well, you're always welcome to come here and give me a lesson, but
that involves coming to Sydney. I thought we'd had this conversation. If you ever choose to move somewhere more civilized, well then sure, I'll come visit. Okay, that vegetative note's really reasserted itself, kind of almost coating the tongue with this somewhat bitter fennel.
Bitter fennel.
See, my fennel note is more of a cooked fennel, not quite as sharp.
Yeah, this is pretty sharp for me. Is that in the Magna or in the bus, Daniel? Yep. Excuse me. I don't think this is going to be one that I push all the way through to the very nub, fellas. It's not the way. It's not one of those. This is a genuine American cigar. You smoke the first 2/3 and then you put it down.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
I've had one good puff in the final third. Everything else has been so-so.
Ow, it's getting too hot to hold. And the flavors are just turning on me now, so
yeah,
I think that's it for me.
Yeah, look, I'm going to join you. It's getting really sharp on the tip of the tongue.
It's not too bad. What are we looking at? About an hour 20 something?
Yeah, hour 20 plus. Probably, you'd probably enjoy it more if you stopped at an hour 10.
Yep.
It's probably a better cigar at that point, to be honest. But magnificent. That opening, I'll be comparing other cigars to that opening in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to see if they live up to that. That was exceptional. Well, gentlemen, 2 cigars left in pack number 9.
That's it.
They're into pack number 10.
Omar's favorite next week.
Indeed, Plasencia.
It's definitely not my favorite, but it's my everyday smoke that I appreciate a lot. It's a very good cigar.
Every stick's your everyday smoke.
So no. What you missed, that's actually an insult. He's saying he would only have it once per day.
Right.
He's actually insulting it. He's saying, no, it's actually a terrible stick. I'd only have one per day.
Well, speaking of everyday cigars, a friend of mine came and he got me a Cigar Angel. I know you guys were talking about it, but the Fuente Angel Share. Any good?
I rated it. I thought it was exceptional.
Really?
I've not had one.
That's right. I bought half of Damo's stash, and then I only smoked one of them. I gave the other 2 away, but I thought it was exceptional. Yeah.
What size did you have?
So like a Churchill almost, wasn't it?
Churchill.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Look, I rated it. Make sure you got some time.
It's a Robusto.
Yeah, but it's not a cigar that you want to hurry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Probably, I don't know, have it as your breakfast cigar before the kids have woken up. Just, when you got a bit of peace and quiet.
Full body?
No, medium.
Medium.
I don't think it was anything above a medium. And it's not one of those cigars that has you guessing with every puff to see what new flavors are there. It settles into a really beautiful flavor profile and just progresses slowly over the course of the stick. Right. But I would say it definitely appreciates being smoked cool and slow. Yeah. And it's just worth being able to give it some attention. It was a very good stick.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, I'll get some photographs done this week. I'll get an email out before Friday or by the end of Friday with photos of pack 10. And then
I will say with this next pack, I know that some of our subscribers do like to buy 2 packs, whether they want to smoke one with us and keep some in their humidor for later on, or sometimes they always share with someone else.
Yep.
If people want to go back, this pack here, we had very limited numbers because we're using stock that I'd been sitting on and aging for a while, so we had very limited numbers. But the next pack, we don't have that restriction. So if people are interested in buying multiple packs again, next pack we'll be able to accommodate that. And
the upside of having only the 3 cigars is, of course, the price point is significantly lower as well to reflect that. And we managed to sort of do a twofer. It's a lower price point with even more premium cigars in it. Cubans are not cheap cigars at the moment. We've got 3 really, really good Cubans in this pack. So it's something that hopefully will just allow more people to join us because the price point, not everyone's in a position to smoke a cigar every week. We get that. And hopefully the once a month program will suit those people that little bit more.
Yep.
All righty. Well, gentlemen, a pleasure as always. Thank you both. And thank you to everyone that joined us. To those of you who commented, we always appreciate it. That was fun. Stephen, please make sure you get in touch with the Facebook page. Make sure that you're on the email list and you'll be hearing from us within the next day or 2 with details. Thanks, guys.